Started with Apple earphones blue-tacked onto a lamp in the living room of our dear yet shitty apartment in Santa Cruz, Bolivia, with Maggie and I sitting next to each other as if we were in each other's pockets and holding hands, like being in a relationship. A friendship, I mean. We sat as close as our friendship is today. I love you, Maggie. The first handful of episodes really showed how horny we really are. From nudes and sex, dating and kinks, we really didn't leave any stone unturned in opening up about our lives in South America and our lives in general. And whilst we are still horny and will continue to dish the dirt on all things living abroad, Labia Talk has come a long way. I'm sure you'd all agree if you are a loyal listener. Well, today we are going to reflect a little bit on just how far we have come and how many leaps and bounds Labia Talk has come as we celebrate our 30th episode. Thanks for listening and thanks for joining us on the journey.
It's Sunday night, I'm drinking wine.
Hey Maggie.
Hey Ollie. Can I just say, that's the most fantastic introduction. Really didn't realise how emotional I got just listening to you there.
What? I wrote that when I was bat-faced shit drunk.
What, about 5 minutes ago?
Yeah. Literally.
How are you feeling?
Do you know what? I am day 9 in quarantine. I've been locked up in a hotel room in Sydney, Australia. I am home. Wow. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling good. I'm quite enjoying the me time. As people do know, I did struggle to live sharing a house with people in Brazil. Mm-hmm. And I'm quite happy to be on my own at the moment, as I sure am. The people in Brazil are happy that I'm out of that house.
Hey, you've got a whole bachelor pad, basically. I'm looking at you right now on camera, and you've got 2 huge, I'd say about queen-sized beds behind you.
They're definitely queen-size beds. As Pink once famously said, it's just you and your hand tonight.
Yeah, you've been keeping busy, yeah.
I have. And what about you, Maggie? How is Londres?
Londres, todo bien.
Vaccinated?
Aquí. Half vaccinated. Woo woo! Let's go, Moderna gang. Yeah, feeling great actually. Really just loving my life at the moment. London is totally different at this time of year. It's warmer. There's things to do, places to go. So yeah, having a good time. Oh, and dare I forget to mention, England won the football last night. So we're through. The Euro Championships. So for anyone who's living outside of Europe maybe and doesn't necessarily follow football or soccer. Soccer.
We call it soccer.
Soccer. We're through to the semi-finals of the Euros.
So who are you taking on now?
Well, it all depends on who... Oh, no, sorry. It was last night's match. I was a bit drunk at this point. So, give me a second. So, I think we're playing Denmark next.
Oh. Yeah. For someone who is slightly... Oh, no, I'm not going to say it.
Go on, say it. Dish it. Dish the dirt.
For someone who is probably not the most coordinated on the basketball court or the football field, I'm quite interested in the fact that you support soccer.
Yeah, oh, really? Does that surprise you?
Sorry, that was so mean. Blame it on the beer.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to blame it on... You know what? To be honest with you, though, I will put my hands up wholeheartedly. Nobody wanted to be my racquetball partner in Bolivia. Nobody did. And you know what? That's fine with me. Ollie, you gave me I think you tried. You genuinely, I think, put in maybe about 5 minutes effort with me before you just realised, no, she's a lost cause. I'm going to go play with the boys instead. Fucking hell.
I'm sorry. But it was just, I'm glad you put in the effort. But do you know what? I think one of my favourite things that we did in Bolivia during lockdown was we went to the park and worked out, and I thought that was quite fun.
Oh, yeah. We really had a lot of fun there. Afterwards, do you remember? We would restore the balance, if you like, by going for the, how do you call it? going to the bottle-o, going for the grog run. Grog run? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, we call it a grog run.
We went for a grog run. Basically, we went to our local tienda and stocked up on beers on a Friday afternoon, and that set us
And
in
the
good
price
form.
varied. It was either 6 Bs or 9 Bs one day, 7 Bs the next day, or
Yeah.
she'd forget to, do something. This is a little old lady, but we had a great day, and I think we, if there are jobs available there in the future, we would both be welcomed back, maybe.
Hey, we would be, definitely.
Maggie, I think you have a little bit of a special shout out today that I don't know about. Can you tell me?
Okay, so Ollie, yes, I've got a little bit of a different shout out for us this week, and it's a shout out especially for you. So, as you recall, a couple of episodes back when you announced that you'll be returning to Australia, I decided to get in touch with some of our listeners in Brazil. And some Brazilians wanted to wish you a few words, say thank you. So have a little listen, Ollie, now.
I'm nervous.
Hey Ollie, it's Pedro here. I'd like to say that it was very nice meeting you that day when we went to Cocais Waterfall with Thales. I really enjoy your content, your videos on YouTube, your podcast with Maggie. I became a huge fan. I usually don't miss any episode every week. I like to listen your podcast with Maggie. I always have fun listening, and I wish you a great trip back to Australia, and I will keeping up you and Maggie as much as I can because I really like you both.
Oh, that is so sweet. Do you know what Pedro is such a nice guy, such a lovely guy, and I think from that message, I think you've got another one to play, but from that message, he seems like he is your friend as well, and you've never even met him. So that's nice that people can feel like they're our friends.
Absolutely. So it's such a sweet message, and listening to it, even though I haven't ever met him myself or spoken to him directly before this, I was like, oh, what a sweet guy. So yeah, here's just a little something he added as well.
Hey Maggie, it's Pedro here. I send you the message. Sorry for my English. I know it's not as good as I would, but I tried my best, and I hope Ollie gets happy when he listened to this message.
Of course. That's so cute, honestly. I'm dying. That's so cute.
Oh, bless. Oh, and I do have another one. However, it's not a audio, so I'm going to send you the message, and I don't know, maybe you would like to read it aloud because it's in Portuguese, so I don't think I'll be able to read it personally.
Oh, fuck.
But here we go.
Okay, the most Australian carioca, which is someone from Rio that we have, don't forget here and come back more times, or come back a lot if it's possible for you to come back again. Aww, that's very sweet. He likes all of our content. It's from Josh. He likes all of our content and is a really loyal listener, actually. That's quite nice.
Yeah, very frequent listener. So yeah, it was just very nice to hear from these listeners of ours. Do you have anything else, Ollie, to add? Maybe about Pedro or...
Yeah, so I met Pedro when I lived in Minas Gerais in Belo Horizonte, and he's a friend of one of my friends, and I became friends with Pedro, and we had a great day I almost died that day, actually. I fell 50 meters down a waterfall.
You didn't mention that bit. What the hell?
I know, literally, I fell 50 meters down a waterfall, and
No.
when I stopped, I got up and I started crying, and then Tali's my friend, started laughing, and Pedro was like, Ollie, are you okay? He cared more about me than Tali's. Obviously, Tali's cared about me, but it was quite funny.
Oh my god, how did you manage that?
Well, I was like, I'm going to like ride this down a little bit. And once I started, I didn't stop. And I went so fast down this waterfall and I couldn't grab onto anything to stop me.
God.
Like, for people who like don't know Brazil, Minas Gerais is the state. It's known for waterfalls. So it's just packed with waterfalls all across the state. And, yeah, that was the experience I had. And actually, I met Josh on Tinder, actually. And
did you?
we actually haven't met in person, but I would love to meet him one day.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, Ollie, I hope that's given you a warm welcome back to Australia and that you'll always know that you've got friends and people close to you in Brazil whenever you want to visit and come back.
That's very lovely, Maggie. I really appreciate it. Do you know what? Like, that shout out has made me nostalgic, and it goes on to our main topic today, which is, reflecting on the last 30 episodes. So this is what I have planned today. Well, you planned it, but we both planned it as well.
Did. Go on then.
So we're going to play clips from our past episodes, and my way of going about this was I play the clip, and I want to know if Maggie still has the same opinion or not, or whether like her opinion has changed within a year. I don't know. How are you going to do your part?
Absolutely. I was thinking the exact same thing. We'll play a little clip and see where you stand right now. Is your opinion still the same a year on? Or, do you have something else to share? A different memory may have been sparked from...
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of our comments that we made last year were when we were in the thick of our time in Bolivia. And both of our lives have changed so fucking much since we started. Labia Talk a year ago. So I'm kind of curious to see, what our opinions are. Do you want to let it rip? Your first one.
Absolutely. With pleasure, Ollie. Thank you so much. So to set the tone, let's transport ourselves back to episode 11.
Holy shit.
What? Right? That when we went to Rio.
We went to Rio.
Yeah, if you guys hadn't forgotten, we went to Rio de Janeiro, and this is when we spoke about, reflected on our time there. So here's a little anecdote for you. I'd be interested to hear your comments afterwards. We all look like we had a bun in the oven, me and Melinda.
Yours was
we were
the
walking
worst.
around these like sacks.
You kept wearing... Maggie wore like crop tops, and then she would have her security pants down her pants, and you could see it like this fucking box hanging out.
So like my big bulky iPhone in there as well, wedged in there. So it just looked like I had a very strange food baby / baby.
Hey,
I don't know.
Absolutely,
It was weird.
Yeah. So we checked in. We checked into the hostel, and we're like, okay, well, I guess we should go and eat something. And we were 2 blocks away from Copacabana Beach, which is like, prime position.
So we get to the beach, go on.
We get to the beach and we just walk around and, I'm paranoid. I've got my security pants on. So I've got zip pants, zip shorts, and I put all my like valuables in these zip shorts. It's like, girls, you need to watch out. Be careful. Someone might rob us.
And for the record, Ollie's got about 5 pairs of these shorts.
Hey!
Don't you? All like probably in the same colour. You're like a cartoon character. Like they're all like in like khaki.
No, I've got 3 pairs.
No. Wow. Ollie, have you still got those security shorts?
I do. And do you know what? They have basically become redundant now that I'm back here in Australia. But super, super useful if you're traveling abroad to South America because, just zip it up and you won't have to worry about being pickpocketed. I still hold that view,
Yeah. Do you reckon that they're still useful? A good investment?
I do. I would agree. I would probably say that, like, get pants and trousers, whatever you want to call them, with zips and throw away the fucking security belt. You don't need that anymore. like the way that you wore the security belt, like it looked like you had a fucking lunchbox down your back, down your fucking shorts. the way you wore it was totally ridiculous, and you wanted to bring.
Hey,
You were basically
stop
saying
pointing
to
your
someone.
finger at me.
You were basically saying to someone, "Look, I'm wearing a security belt. Come and rob me. My phone's down here. My money's down here."
Come and rob me. Come and try it. Go on. Go
Yeah.
and try and stick your hand down my pants. You're not gonna though,
Exactly.
are you? That's the thing. Yeah, okay, Ollie, but who is actually gonna put their hand all the way down there? They can't. So I thought my tactic worked fine.
Well, I mean, it did because nothing happened to us. But again, it goes back to like the stereotype of Rio being this, dangerous, unlawful society. Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous, but I lived there for 3 months and nothing happened.
So did you wear your security shorts actively when you were living in Rio?
Never.
Oh,
Never.
so has your stance changed? Maybe they're not necessary.
Well, no, do you know what? Like, my YouTube headline is, don't travel like... Fuck, I've forgotten it again. Travel like a local, don't travel like a tourist, or something like that. And I think that, I live like a local, and I basically knew where to go and where I felt safe without the security belt. But, like, if you're a guy and you're going to South America, just shove your wallet or your pants or your phone down your pants. You don't need the belt.
Okay, good to know. Great memory though, honestly. Trying to appear stylish and cool whilst having
Yeah.
this weird security pouch on. It was
Exactly.
funny.
All right, Maggie, are you ready for my one?
Absolutely, bring it.
This is actually about me, but I would like to know your opinion.
Shock. Oh wow. What surprise, eh?
Maggie, as you know, I went to South America, and you know that I really like Brazilian boys, and I kind of want to know, after we listen to this, I'm going to ask the question. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely keen to, fall in love in South America. I'm, obsessed.
Oh yeah,
A little
with
bit.
one particular country in South America.
We'll come to it.
Yeah.
I'm a little obsessed with the idea of, falling in love in South America, living on the beach in maybe Brazil. Brio. Brazil.
Brio, that is a combination of your loves. Brio, is that what you're going to name your son? He's going to be called Brio.
I sound like my dad, mixing words. Okay, Maggie, so you've known that I've wanted to live in Brazil and fall in love. After having lived in Brazil and Bolivia for 2.5 years and basically told you about my experiences in Rio, do you think I really want to fall in love? Do you think I'm really obsessed with that Brazilian, South American lifestyle?
Oh, well, I reckon...
I'm sorry that I'm talking about me.
No. To be honest, Ollie, I feel that you have maybe changed a little bit as a person, or the time that you've spent in Brazil, you've got to know, or you've really got to grow and in yourself. I've definitely seen you come so far within your career goals, your ambitions, but I think you still have the dream of perhaps falling in love, maybe not in South America, but I know you're very romantic and you're very, you've got a lot of love to give, but it's got to be for the right person at the right time.
And what about you? I want to know, because you've experienced both British boys, American boys, Mexican boys, Bolivian boys, and I'm sure you've experienced a few other boys. I'm really excited. Some girls too. I forgot about the girls. I'm excited for you to try some Brazilians in the future. So, do you think you could fall in love with a South American, or is it just too much of that, heteronormative culture or hetero machisto, whatever you call it?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we spoke about a lot in the early episodes when I was researching and finding our best bits.
You can't call this researching.
Hey, absolutely researching. I take our podcast very seriously. Hello. When I was conducting research prior to the recording.
Unlike me.
There were quite a few. There were quite a few moments where we did speak about the machista culture and how that affects our perception of men dating men in South America. But to be honest with you, Ollie, I'm very much of the opinion that I could fall in love at any point, and it's obviously usually when you're least expecting it. So I'm totally open to any possibility in the future, and Yeah, I'm just, totally open to anything and just seeing how everything goes. But there's no way I'd fall in love with somebody with machista views. Hell no.
Here. No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's not gonna, and I'm sure you wouldn't either. That's not gonna happen.
No, and like I don't know, like I also think about like religious views as well, because like I'm not a religious person. Like,
Yeah.
and like in South America, like the evangelicals and like that type of religion is, and even the Catholics, it's really like entrenched in families, because family is like, family is important in where we're from, but it's not like
Yeah.
you don't do everything with your family, right? It's a little bit,
You have there's a more of a division between private and sort of
Right.
family life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So I guess like that's another thing that I would consider. Like, would I fall in love with someone who is, not a religious fundamentalist who supports QAnon, but like, you know what I mean?
I got you. I understand. Not somebody who's a Camacho, an avid
No,
Camacho
exactly.
supporter.
It's funny because I was in an Uber in Rio maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, this guy is so hot. And then we went around the bend on Botafogo Beach. I'm not sure if you can remember that. Botafogo Beach? I think you can. It's near, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can. And anyway, when you go around this bend and you come like onto the beach stretch, Christ appears, and then all of a sudden he just blesses himself.
No.
And I'm like, oh, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. And like each to their own. Like, if you're religious, you're religious. But I don't know, Maggie. Maybe I'm being a bit too general here.
No, I completely agree with you. I think if you're able to be a religious person, but it doesn't really affect your perception maybe of society or your relations with people, if you're able to like have a distinction, your relationship with God or whoever you believe in, and your relationship and your other sort of parts of your life, maybe that's okay. But I think when they start mixing in and people have really conservative views, I don't think I could be with anybody ultra religious. Absolutely not.
Fair enough. Do you want to hit me with the next one?
Oh, absolutely. I really enjoyed that anecdote as well. That was brilliant. Because I did listen
Which
to
one?
that. The one you just shared.
Oh.
Yeah, because I did listen to that bit. And, for a while, Ollie, I think that should have been your catchphrase of your YouTube channel. I'm here to fall in love with South America.
Well, you know what, Maggie? Like, I literally did believe that. Before we move on, I literally did believe that I would fall in love. But I think Bolivia, like, I wasn't interested in any of the boys there.
Yeah.
People who listen to the podcast obviously know why I wasn't. And if this is the first episode you listen to, then what the fuck are you doing? Go and listen to the other episodes, bitch.
Yeah, you've got taste for this now. Go listen to everything.
But I do want to say that, I know we are in the middle of a pandemic, but like people in Rio are living life as is normal, and the boys in Rio are just like really hit and miss. Like, you'll plan to do something with someone, and then when it comes to like the night before or the day of, they'll just ghost you. And I have a really big problem with like that. So I think I learned by the time I left Rio, I learned who actually cared about me, and it was literally like 2 people. And who didn't care about me, and I kind of just left it at that.
Oh, Ollie, don't let that be. Don't let people not communicating with you like reflect necessarily what they think about you, because aside from all the Rio fuckboys, but I'm sure there were other people in your life then who sometimes people just can't make the time, so don't let that be a reflection of your.
I just want to give a shout out to Thalys and Lucas, who I spent my last night with in Rio, and they absolutely bitched about this podcast and said that we talk shit about them. Excuse me, boys, you are both beautiful, and I've had a good time with both of you, and we'll leave it at that.
So, okay, Ollie, moving onwards a little bit. I'm going to take us forward to episode 12, when I'm in Merida in Mexico, and
yes, you are.
And you're still in Santa Cruz, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, have a listen to this. We talk about food. One of
my
favorite
ASL teacher.
Hey, I'm going to give you some instructions and I'm going to ICQ you, all right?
Literally.
It's still concentrating, yeah? 5 beers in. And,
7.
7. Sorry, my mistake. Send me one over here. Come on. Was it 1:15 p.m. here? Yeah, time to drink. So have a listen, and then I want to see if your opinion is still the same. Okay, are you ready?
I am.
I'm
Sorry,
excited for you to.
I'm sorry, Bolivians, your food is pretty shit.
I know. You know what? Hands up. We can say it's pretty shit. The best.
I'm sorry. I've lived here 600 days. I'm sorry. Your food is. I said it. I know it's a bit. I should have said not very good, shouldn't I? But I said it.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. You should say
I
the
don't
food
like
is
it.
fine. I mean, it's not my favorite either. Picante de pollo, no
But
para
like,
mí.
why do people get so excited over peanut soup?
I don't know. I haven't had sopa de maní,
It's
so I
literally-
don't
it's like
know.
peanuts and water.
Oh,
Peanut
yeah.
Majadito.
Yeah.
And
No me gusta.
and like beef and meat, like you can get that anywhere in the world. There's nothing special about it.
Yeah, apart
Am I
from
being
a
a bit
salteña.
harsh?
I mean, I don't know. I think a salteña though, that's special.
Oh, I love salteñas, but come on.
But that's pretty unique to Bolivia. I haven't seen or tried a pastry like that anywhere else.
That is
Wow.
such jokes. I'm dead.
We're savage.
I love how we're like, we hate, and as soon as we hear the word salteña, we're like, oh no, fuck yeah, that's so good.
That's the good shit, you know. Give us those all day long. Oh my god. Wow. So, Ollie, now that you're in Australia, are you missing the picante de pollo? Are you dreaming of a good majadito?
No, I'm not. My opinion is exactly the same. And you know, if you're going to spend 2 years in a country and you're going to try the food and you're not going to like it, then that's it. Like,
Yeah.
I just think, like, I love you Bolivians, but the fact that when I go to a restaurant, I sit on plastic chairs and plastic tables, that, like, sums it up for me.
Oh, do you not miss that lovely plastic just rubbing up against your tush?
No, I don't.
I've got a fantastic photo of you actually back during the Paris Civico when we used to go to the chicken shop. Chicken
Really?
restaurant all the time, and you're like tucking into your. Do you remember the fried chicken with the chips?
Oh my god,
and
better than
the-
KFC.
Oh my god, that was some good chicken.
Fuck
Don't give me picante de pollo, but that fried chicken saved us many a time.
It did. Absolutely. No, I respect Bolivian culture and I respect their food, but at the end of the day, I'm going to take a meat pie and chicken schnitzel and chips any day of the week.
Oh, bless. And what about Brazilian food?
Well, well, again, Brazilian food is like really heavy as well. And like, I was with Tully's in Rio, like, and we were hungover, and he's like, I just want Brazilian food. And I was like, what? I said, what, beans and rice? And he's like, yeah, I want beans and rice. And like, I don't understand this obsession with beans and rice. Like, just, you literally add salt to add flavor. Like, it's so boring.
It's simple, isn't it? I guess it's holy.
I almost vomited.
Oh.
No, it's so simple. But again, I think because like it's such a big population, it's there's a few worlds in Brazil, but it is arguably a third world country, and like it's a staple food that people have in the cupboard because it's yeah.
That's
It's
what
like
it is.
eating
I
bread.
think that's what it is, though, isn't it? It's comfort food. It's
Yeah.
what people in Brazil, like, it's the food you've grown up with. So it's the food maybe your mum used to cook, your gran used to cook. So that's what you crave maybe when you're hungover. The same way I really crave, I don't know, I could have some really good homemade Polish food when I'm hanging. Or I could have a McDonald's burger as well. And,
Potato
that'll sort me out too.
pancakes.
Potato pancakes.
No, but I do like feijão tropeiro, which is a food from Minas Gerais in Brazil. So there are some really good Brazilian dishes, but on the whole, I think it's too heavy for me.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to have like a salad every now and then, and you don't want to have like fucking beans and rice and pork and all that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna actually take us back to pretty much where it all started. Episode 3. Not almost not episode 1, but episode 3. In episode 3, we spoke about nudes, and we were kind of like at the start of the pandemic, and it was the stage, I think this was like maybe 3 weeks or a month in, and we were literally, scratching walls. We were so horny. We wanted I think that's what the problem was.
That was, oh my
we
god.
Couldn't do anything. We were so horny.
It was our only outlet, apart from just having a
Literally.
little bit of playtime by yourself. That was our
Literally.
only other like outlet, wasn't it?
It was. So I'm going to play a little excerpt from episode 3, which was,
Wow.
about sending nudes and stuff like that. And Maggie, I'm going to ask you a question when we come back.
God.
How do you send them? Do you send them via
WhatsApp.
Instagram?
Instagram? No, I've never sent a nude via Instagram. No, because I don't tend to send them to people I don't really know very well.
Unlike me.
Yeah, it's just like, for me, like, so, like, bizarre. I don't know,
No.
I guess show my body like that to
No.
someone I don't know.
Fuck it. Just do
Yeah.
it. It's sexy, I think.
Mm.
I think, like, you take a sexy selfie of, like, your penis. A penis selfie.
A pelfie.
A pelfie.
A dick pic.
A dick pic.
That's-
And then you just send it to, like, I don't know, 10 different people on Instagram. You
So
may
is this-
may have met them. You may not have met them.
Right. So is this like you putting out your like mating call or something?
Maybe.
Essentially?
It's like saying, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Look at me.
You're a
I'm
peacock.
sexy.
Okay, so Maggie, in that excerpt, you said that you had never... You normally send pictures and selfies to people that you know. That was at the start of the pandemic and the start of when all this happened. And my question to you is, has the pandemic changed the way you send nudes and interact with other people?
I'd say it has. Yeah. I hate to admit it, but yeah, it's really
No,
changed.
don't hate to admit anything.
No, I've completely changed in that sense. For example, you said like, would I send them to anybody I don't really know? Now I do, and
But what do you think that's a consequence of?
I guess, especially like in light of the pandemic and meeting up with people. Perhaps not so much now, because where I am, the lockdown has been eased and the restrictions have been eased. But I guess when we were at the height of the pandemic, then I was using sending nudes as a form of course, like showing my interest. Yeah, I reckon the pandemic has influenced how I kind of interact with people.
Isn't it weird, like, when we listened back and did our research, whatever the fuck you want to call it, when we listened back to ourselves over a year ago, it's kind of like everything that we said kind of like is kind of true. Like it holds still, right? But that there's some things that you think, I think Maggie's changed her opinion on that. I think Ollie's different on that. I think things are a little bit... But guys, if you're interested in listening to Maggie talk about nudes and how she sends nudes, because she offers some really interesting insights that actually I am a nude sender, but I would never go to the lengths that you go, not the lengths, the extent that you go to. So if you're interested in listening to that, make sure you head on to Spotify, episode 3. It's all about nudes.
To be honest with you, I think the first couple of episodes are pretty golden anyway. Like if you
They
want
are.
more of the, we're talking. I think we're being pretty. I'd say neutral and
M18, is that what it's called? No. MA15 plus.
yeah. It's about a 15 rating, I'd say, or a 12A rating right now
12?
on this episode. Okay, maybe 15.
Maggie, that's children.
But if you want the more, I'd say, salacious content, I'd say episode 1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 6, yeah.
That's where it's popping. So if you want our best juicy bits, go there. Yeah, but look at us now. We're so professional. How far we've come.
God.
I'm recording this stone cold sober. What's wrong with me?
I'm recording this stone cold drunk.
Yeah.
Back shit faced.
All right. Now that we've delved a little bit into the more X-rated content, I wanted to play this little extract for you, Ollie, see if it jogs any memory for you. And if you wanted to add any new comments, if you wanted to perhaps verify any information here. Are you ready, Ollie?
I'm ready. Guess how many poos I've done today?
Oh God, go on. I mean, I know how many you have. Go on, tell our viewers, tell our listeners.
7.
7.
7.
I think I just did 1 this morning. How depressing is that? Ollie, I want to know your secret.
I didn't even have my poop juice.
Oh, it's because you've been
Coughing.
wanking.
Maybe
You've been playing with yourself, haven't you? Maybe that's been stimulating a little bit the.
What else?
I don't know, but I find that sometimes stops it.
Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with that? You are blaming me pooing on the amount of times I wank, and I'm doing 7 poos a day. What the
Wow,
fuck?
can you tell we were at the peak of our probably horniness when this episode was recorded?
Literally, we were so horny.
I was just relaying any kind of life situation just back to sex. And it all had to be related back to that, didn't it?
But you know what the funny thing is? You know what the
Yeah.
funny thing about that is? Before we get on to talking about that, I went 6 months without having sex in Bolivia. Like, it wasn't until episode 13. You went to Mexico.
Yeah.
You were in Mexico before I had sex when the pandemic started in March.
I know. That's how long it was. I remember.
Crazy, right?
I know. We were, yeah. I've got to say, I think hats off to our celibacy. I think it's what sort of like started this podcast.
To mine. Going back to the poop juice. Yes, I still take the poop juice. I think it's really important to. It's fiber. It makes me poo and makes me clean when I have sex with boys. But I don't do 7 poos a day anymore.
Oh well. That's a shame. I think our listeners will be disappointed, a little bit disappointed to hear that. But,
I know.
Yeah, that's good. Everything is working okay down there. Yeah,
It's all good.
Toasted.
So,
all right.
all right, I'm gonna go on to the last one, Maggie.
Oh, go on, hit me. I'm so ready.
So, we lived together for a year in Bolivia. And then after Bolivia, you decided to, test out another Spanish-speaking country in Mexico. And for a lot of the people who you lived with in Mexico, it was their first time living abroad. And, the Yucatan, from what you've told me, is, kind of built up. It's more developed than Bolivia. And one of your housemates actually asked you, they said to you, if you could describe Bolivia in 5 words, how would you describe it? So we're going to listen to how you described it. And I want to know at the end if you have changed your mind or if you would, alter a few things.
So yeah, one of the teachers, he asked me, he was like, what 5 words can you use to describe Bolivia? Actually really hard. So my original ones were hot, it's true. I said dirt roads.
Yes, yep.
I said salteñas. I said nature, varied nature, landscape.
Yep.
And then after we had spoken, like another flatmate of mine traveled around Bolivia. I was like, fuck, actually, yeah. Actually, I'd say I said poverty. Or
Inequality, massive inequality here.
Yes. Yeah.
So I just want to unpick a few things there because, first of all, I think your answers are really simple and basic, and you obviously didn't have much time to think about them. So on reflection, almost a year later, has your opinion changed? Just to remind you, you said hot, dirt roads. Honestly, salteñas, nature, and poverty.
Yeah, I reckon. On reflection, Bolivia's got a lot more going for it than just, I think, dirt roads and hot climate. So yeah, absolutely. I'd say for me, what I really remember is the generosity of the people, having fantastic nights out. And I guess maybe a word I'd use is Bolivia's a country that surprises you.
Totally.
Sorry, it's not really a word, it's a phrase.
Yeah, it's a phrase. But all the things that you just said are phrases, they're not words.
All right.
but again, I think it's kind of like a forgotten country. And especially Santa Cruz, because we have harped on about the fact that there's nothing to do in Santa Cruz if you're a tourist. And that is true. But if you're considering, teaching English or, passing through there, I don't know why you would, but it has really humble, really lovely people who I'm sure if you were there and you contacted us, they would definitely offer to go for a drink.
Oh,
with you.
definitely. And yeah, so I think, yeah, generosity of people, and perhaps, yeah, Santa Cruz itself, like you said, obviously, like we've mentioned so many times, there's not a lot to do there. But if you can afford to get yourself hire a taxi, hire a van or whatever, and travel just a few hours outside of Santa Cruz, go to the nearby villages, Samaipata, that you went to, or even the national parks,
Buena Vista.
the national parks. I can't remember what the names are, but
Parque Nacional de
Amboro.
Amboro National Park.
Yeah. And looking at our friends, our Bolivian friends and their stories, having hiked around these national parks, it's incredible. So upon reflection, Bolivia's got a lot more to offer than just its dirt roads. But that's the charm and the beauty of Bolivia. It's not like anywhere else I've seen in the world.
And I kind of hope that it kind of stays the way it
Right.
is, because like if it becomes like, you know, Brazil, which is like confused between being a Latino country or whether it wants to
Yeah.
westernize or whether it wants to have its own culture like Russia, it's kind of a little bit
Yeah.
confused. So I like Bolivia, that it's just so
I agree with you. It's so
unique.
unique. And yeah, Mexico the same. Mexico is kind of like straddled between being a Latin American developing country, but then actually super developed at the same time and sort of like trying to stand equal to the United States or to Brazil. So it is amazing how Bolivia still has that charm, still has its weird, you know, how things work weirdly there, strangely there. That is kind of what I do love about it. And that's what would make me want to go back
is.
as well.
And if you're curious about that, our guest for the next 2 episodes is someone who's living in Bolivia, in Santa Cruz. So make sure you stay tuned. for
Yeah,
that.
you'll get a fresh insight, an insight into what it's like living in Bolivia right now in 2021. So, Ollie, I think I've shared my best bits.
As you rub your nipples. I've also shared my best bits. And, you know, Maggie, I do want to say that, you know, we are living in our native lands at the moment. You're in London. I'm in Australia. I do hope that we one day will be able to, you know, reunite in person, but also, like, live our South American dream as well. But we are going to continue here on Labia Talk, dishing the dirt on, you know, social topics that we find relevant because we have lived in South America. So the media that you might be listening to is media that is very Western centric, or, you know, what you're up to. But I think like Maggie and I, we bring a unique perspective. Yeah, we're not fucking, you know, experts, but like, what is an expert really? So
And do you really want to? We're
we're
experts,
sexperts.
and also, do you really want to listen to an expert's opinion on what it's like? Like, no, you want to listen to everyday
No.
people's relatable experiences, and that's what I hope we can offer to you guys, to you listeners out there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Maggie, absolute pleasure. And I can't wait for, you know, us to get to our 50th episode
I
and many,
know,
many more.
what a benchmark. Again, congratulations, Ollie. Cheers to us. Woo-hoo! For making it to
Hey,
episode
woo-hoo,
30.
cheers. 30. And we want to say thank you to Alejandra Gonzalez. And
Thank you, Amy, for the music. Ollie.
we absolutely love it.
Ollie, I'll see you next week, yeah?
I'll see you every single week, baby girl.
Oh, yeah, you take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's Sunday night, I'm drinking wine.